Well, good morning and welcome back out to another edition of Backcountry Trails. In today's episode, we're going to finish up our adventure out to Hetch Hetchy in the northwest corner of Yosemite National Park. And we're going to be driving over the Cherry Valley Dam and hiking up the Lake Eleanor Trail, I guess is what it's called, up over the ridgeline and dropping down into the lake. We saw Lake Eleanor on the map and didn't see any signs for it, or didn't see really any trip reports on all trails for it, but it looked like little dotted lines on the map. I thought, you know what, this would be a good recovery hike. After our long hike out to Rancheria Falls and Wapama Falls around the O'Shaughnessy Dam, we thought, you know, this would be a perfect time to stretch our legs out, get rid of that lactic acid, and take in some more scenery since we had the time. So we hiked down to Lake Eleanor, and I found probably one of the best campsites I've ever seen in my life. And it's on kind of a peninsula. It has a tremendous 270-degree view of Lake Eleanor. Nice open campsite. It's got a great fire ring. It's got these logs that were sawn off. Perfect spots to sit around the campfire. Maybe, you know, throw your camp stove on there or something. And it was only 1.5 miles from the car. So on the way back from Lake Eleanor, we were hiking back to the car, and we got to the top of the ridgeline again, and we saw a trail sign for the Kibbie Creek Trail. And we thought, looked at our watches, we still got time. So we decided to go along the ridgeline and head basically north toward Kibbie Creek. Now, when we were at Lake Eleanor, when we were down by the water, we could see around a cove, and we could see an inlet where it looked like a stream had cascaded down and into the water. So we thought, you know what, I wonder if that's what Kibbie Creek does. It flows from the higher elevations, cascades down through this little ravine, and ends up down into Lake Eleanor. So we took that trail. It's only 1.5 miles, so it wasn't that far, and stumbled upon Kibbie Creek. And that was a real surprise. That was a lot more scenic than we thought. The only problem was a storm was moving in, and we saw it on the Doppler through Jerry's Starlink, actually. And that morning that we saw the weather forecast, that maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon there was a potential of an afternoon thunderstorm. And anytime you're in the Sierras, there's always a chance. So you got to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So as we were hiking out toward the Kibbie Creek Cascade, the clouds started building. So we made it back to the trailhead, no problem. And we made it back to camp, no problem. And then as we were cooking dinner, the thunderstorm hit. So anyway, that's what this adventure is going to be about. It's going to be about our trip to Lake Eleanor, our side trip to the Kibbie Creek Cascade, and then the finish up of our adventure at the Cherry Valley Campground and our thunderstorm. The other thing that happened is I totally remodeled the office, my little studio here. I got new carpeting, which entailed removing everything out of the office. That was just a nightmare. Had to take apart my computer, the desk, my ham radio, all of my communications equipment, bookshelves, everything that was in here, all had to be boxed up and taken out to the garage. And that was just a nightmare. But now it's all done. So now we have more room in here. I have new carpeting. I have a sitting area off to the side. It actually looks like a real office. So maybe later on I'll take some pictures and I'll post them so you can see what it looks like now. And the other thing is, the reason why this is out of sequence is my grandnephew, Ryder, came out and spent a few days with us. And I took him on a hike up to see the Tuckett's Peak Fire Lookout. That was a really good adventure. That was on the last episode. You saw Ryder hiking up. And he had no, how great it is to be 14. You have no problem at all hiking up the trail. And I'm out of breath. And when he got home, he was telling his family, Uncle Anthony, he was having a tough time. It's like, no shit. It was steep. The steep and elevation. And of course, he lives at a higher elevation, so he didn't have any trouble with that. So, but I did. So anyway, so that's what this episode is going to be about, our adventure out to Lake Eleanor and the Kibbie Creek. And that'll all be coming up next. Stick around. Well, good morning, and welcome back out here to Cherry Lake out here in just outside of Yosemite. So it was a good night last night. I slept pretty good. Actually, I slept really good. I was so tired from that hike yesterday. Went to bed about 10, and I slept all the way until about 5:15. I woke up because of the birds, squawking and all that. So And I kind of laid there for a bit, and I dozed back off asleep again, and eventually woke up at about 10 after 6. So I got up, I gathered a little bit more of a little kindling firewood from around camp. The really dry stuff burns really well. And I've got my fire going over here. I'll show you. So my fire's going over there, and then this morning I'm going to be making breakfast. Now this is my breakfast setup this morning. We're going to be doing eggs and bacon, and I'm going to be brewing some homemade coffee, and I also have some sourdough bread. I'm going to be making toast as well. Well, here's our resident bear. Well, we left our campsite at Cherry Campground, and now we're taking a drive. We drove over the dam, and now we're trying to find the Lake Eleanor trailhead. It's down this Forest Service road. Actually kind of scenic. The road's in pretty good condition for a Forest Service road. I would think the likelihood of seeing a deer or a bear are a little higher over here, so I can't imagine it getting a lot of traffic. Cherry Lake is off to our left, down on the other side of these trees here. Well, we just came up that road right there. We're about 3 or 4 miles, maybe 3 miles up past the dam at Cherry Valley Lake, and we've come up this Forest Service road, and there is a truck at the trailhead, and there are a couple of bear boxes over there behind the truck, so we're going to go up this trail, which is right up there is where it starts, and it goes about 2.5 miles to like a peninsula on Lake Eleanor. So we'll see what this is going to be today. Seems like it's a little cooler, it's a little more overcast. There's a chance of rain today, so I brought my rain gear. Hopefully we won't need it. All right, well, we are about ready to start hiking up toward Lake Eleanor. So we parked over there at I guess the makeshift trailhead. There's no signs, but there is a couple bear boxes, and looks like this is the beginning of our route. Oh, it has Lake Eleanor fishing regulations. Looks like there's quite a bit of informational signs up here. Let's go check them out. Well, this is the trail that goes to Lake Eleanor. It doesn't look like it's that far, but it's kind of pretty up here. I don't think it gets a lot of traffic, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see a deer or bear or something. It says entering Yosemite Wilderness. Wood fires prohibited above 9,600. Well, we just went through a wilderness sign, a little series of gates, small gates, and we are officially into Yosemite National Park now, which we didn't think we were going to be in Yosemite from this angle. It says Cherry Lake, 1 mile. Kibbie Creek Trail, 1.5. Lake Eleanor, 1.2. In fact, there's the lake right over there.
There's people down there.
Is there?
There's voices right over there.
Well, somebody's over here fishing or camping somewhere down there in Yosemite. It's a pretty little patch of lupine growing wild here along the trail down to Eleanor Lake. All right, we've just come a very short distance, probably not even a 1/4 mile from where we parked the Tahoe, and we've already come up over this ridge line, and now we have a great view of Lake Eleanor down below. It's only 1.2 miles to the lake, so I don't know where we're going to be at the lake. It is scenic though. All right, so we are heading down the trail, short trail, down toward Lake Eleanor. It's I saw the contour lines on the map. Thought we were climbing. We're actually descending to the lake, which means we'll be climbing on the way back. But it's not too bad. It is nice that it's overcast. It's a little cooler today. Hope we see some wildlife today. I would think the odds would be a little higher here than the other trail because it was a lot more popular than this one. We'll cross our fingers. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see another snake. And I don't know if you can see that, but the lake is behind me.
Get a good picture of my junk. Come on. Watch it.
I got hung up on a snag. Well, we have reached, I guess this is one of the official Lake Eleanor camping areas. We've got a bear box.
Yeah,
What?
M-A-I-L.
Oh, the writing that's on the log here.
Something M4.
So this is the peninsula over here.
Look how it's carved out right here like a stack.
Yeah. It looks like a.
This is a peninsula on Lake Eleanor. We saw this on the map. So we can kind of hang out here for a bit. Go walk around the peninsula. See what there is. Maybe we'll go over here and get a good shot of the lake. Well, this is Lake Eleanor. And I guess technically it is in Yosemite National Park. This is the peninsula that we saw on the map that we're on now. It's a couple little islands. Those are cool. Nice little sandy beach. Good place for a swim right here. And the lake goes all the way around the corner and off to the right. Goes, I don't know, another couple miles to the right. We'll go over there in a minute. We'll work our way to the end of the point. This is the other side of Lake Eleanor. We can hear a waterfall to the far left. Oh, we got a pair of geese walking out toward the edge of the water. The other one went to the left. Dave's sneaking up on him in the bushes. Dave was sneaking up on the geese. They decided to head for the water. This is another nice sandy beach.
Those Canadian geese, man. They're so loud.
Every now and then we get them flying over our house in the V formation.
Okay.
You can hear them coming for a half mile.
Yeah. For whatever reason, they like the college campus too. They're on the college campus hanging out.
Now this is the other side of Lake Eleanor. Looks like it must be the dam at the far end.
say.
All right, well, we're out here at Lake Eleanor and we found this great sandy beach. And we're watching the geese out here having quite the conversation. Also got a new pack. I'll talk about that later.
I'm sure if you guys could hear it.
This is a this is a beautiful area right here, Lake Eleanor. We didn't realize that. There's like at least 4 distinct campsites, and each one has a bear box, and I believe they have a fire ring. They've got some cut down tree stumps you can use as a table or a seat. Water's right here, all the water you can filter, and wildlife to boot. It was only a mile, 1.2 miles from the car down here to the water. You could bring your backpack, hump over the hill, stay 2 or 3 days down here and fish, and have the place just about all to yourself. I did run into one couple, a young guy and a girl, and they each had a baby in the backpack, and they probably just day hiked over. It was a truck parked next to us, and they had come down here just so he could fish and they could kind of explore a little bit. But man, this is a really nice site. And since this is in Yosemite, you probably need a Yosemite wilderness permit. I'm gonna have to look that up when I get home. This would be a really nice spot for an easy backpack trip. Come down here, you can hang out at the campground. It's not really a campground, they're just remote sites. And have your backpack food and all the water you want. You can spread out. Plenty of trees if you want to do a hammock. This is really nice. This is really nice. I got to remember this one for next time. The drive getting here is a little rough, and it looks like you can't drive over the dam, which you would need to do. So it's closed between, I think I saw a sign that said October to April. So, and of course, in those months there's snow up here anyway, and so you're probably not going to want to do that in the winter. But you know, this time of year, May, this is the prime time. You know, right a couple weeks before Memorial Day, and conditions are just absolutely stunning. And you know, with the cloud coverage, nice cool breeze, this is nice. I'm not gonna say this is the perfect spot, but it's damn close to it. Anyway, I don't know what we're gonna do after this. We're gonna work our way back up the hill and head back over toward the car. There was another trail from the car going the other direction called the Kibbie Creek Trail. I don't know if we'll be doing that or not, but we'll think about it when we get up there, see how tired we are. We got kind of tired after yesterday. Yesterday was tough. We had a big breakfast this morning. We had, I had made bacon and eggs over the campfire with toast and hash browns, and made some good camp coffee. And I hit the spot. We needed that refreshment. We got to sleep in, went to bed about 10 in my swag, and I slept pretty solid almost all the way to 6. So I got a good 8 hours of sleep last night, but I can still feel it. My thighs are still a little tired. You know, I can feel it. You know, I bent down to take a picture of a wildflower and I couldn't get up. So it'll be nice having the little extra time today to relax and recuperate. This is why you're out here, and that breeze just feels phenomenal right now. Well, anyway, I don't know what else we're going to be doing. I don't know if I'm going to include this as part of the tail end of my hike to Rancheria Falls and La Palma Falls, but if I do include this ought to pretty much wrap up this edition of Backcountry Trails out here in the very, very northern edge of Yosemite National Park. And I completed my training up on High Point Lookout in the Cleveland National Forest, so maybe in a future edition you'll see what I have to do up in Cleveland. And you'll see this tower I got to climb. It's an amazing tower. It's 67 feet, I think, in the air, and there's 95 steps to get to the top of the fire lookout. And that also does include the 4-mile, 5-mile drive on a rough Forest Service trail to get up there. So that'll be a pretty interesting episode all by itself. Well, anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. My adventure out to the edge of Yosemite National Park and our trip into Yosemite for when we went to Hetch Hetchy. Our amazing trip out to Wapama Falls and our struggle to get to Rancheria Falls and back. Yeah, this is one of our nice campsites. Look at that. To have 2 campsites, 6. We've got right on the peninsula with a view of the water. They've got fire ring, phenomenal set of benches, lots of places to sit. Even have a bear locker, so you can lock up your stuff at night. A view of the lake. Wow. Campsite 6. All right, well, we are got to take a break here. We just climbed up quite a bit, actually, from the lake. And it says Kibbie Creek Trail, Kibbie Creek 1.5. We're going to shoot for that. All right, well, we are on the Kibbie Creek Trail. When we were down at Lake Eleanor, off to the left, about a mile, 2 miles away, we could see what looked like a waterfall or an outflow, maybe of the creek. And we remembered when we were at the top of the rise before we started dropping down into the lake, I came across a trail sign that said Kibbie Creek Trail. So to prolong our day hike today, we decided to try it. And it doesn't look like there's been a whole lot of activity on this trail. It's overgrown, but you can see where you're going. I did see one cairn. That's about it. It's about a mile and a half, about 400 and some feet of gain. We started off at 5,000 feet. We got to get to 54. It's not too bad. But after yesterday, that 400-foot gain, you kind of see like a lot more. Whew. We're getting there. Well, we've seen a lot of this purple brush on the trail today. It's lupine, but we've also seen a lot of this, which is more colorful, and that is a harlot lupine. Looks like they've had a little bit of trail maintenance and a little bit of trail maintenance to do still. Looks like this was a recent burn, probably 5 years ago or so, maybe longer. Yeah, there's a lot of burn damage, a lot of downed trees. You can see it up here. We also at one point had a really good view over the lake. You can still see it. It's way off in the distance over there. Hopefully we'll get another view of that. All right, we just saw something skitter under the log, right?
Oh, yep, there he goes.
Where'd he go?
He's
Under that next burnt one.
He went over this way? I didn't see.
Under that burnt one.
I'm gonna rent my pant leg. Shit.
Wow, he's got a hole in there?
Just roll it all the way over. Ready? Yeah.
He did not go past there, so he's in there somewhere.
Oh, shit. There he goes. What is it? Oh,
Way down there now.
looks like a
Yeah,
snake.
he's way down there. Yeah, he's in the bush. I can't.
Oh,
get
did he
to
go
him
all the way
down there.
through?
Yeah, he
I
went.
thought he went right here.
No, he went all the way down there.
Oh, what was it?
I think it's a skink. Well, we've been hiking along the Kibbie Creek Trail for a while now. Last time we checked GPS, we were 3/4 of a mile from the creek. But it's been a while since we've checked, so I think we're probably a 1/4 mile, maybe at most. And elevation where that sign was, where we started, was 5,000, and creek's at 54. We just crested over 5,400 foot contour line back there. Did have a little excitement. Sure saw something skittering under a log, so I picked up the log and it ran a little further. I tried to grab it. I think it was a skink, but it was big. It was at least 10 to 12 inches long, kind of a cream colored with an orangey red head on it, upper body. It was quick, man. So we kind of went around the bushes, tried to find it. He must have went down into a hole or something. So we didn't get to him, but I kind of wanted to grab him and get a good picture of him, but maybe we'll see something else. And I think the creek is coming up here pretty soon. A nice breeze, but it's hot. It's not really hot, but it just seems hot to us because we're in direct sun. There's not a lot of shade up here. But the creek should be coming up here in a few minutes. You are tired though after yesterday. So any little incline seems like it's more than it should be. But the good thing is that it's almost all downhill going back. Well, there's the creek, Kibbie Creek. Looks like a great spot. Take a break, get caught up on our hydration, take off our packs and explore a little bit. Well, I guess technically we're in the Yosemite wilderness. So Yosemite National Park, but it's also the wilderness. Wow. All right, well, we have traversed along the edge of the hill here, and we've reached Kibbie Creek. Wow, isn't that scenic? Water's flowing pretty good. Goes into the eddy of a little pool right here. Drops down that way. Continues further downstream. Eventually this goes all the way to Lake Eleanor and drops off. This is awesome. Well, we're trying to figure out how many millions of years it took to carve this little jacuzzi in the rocks. You figure this is pure granite. Well, we worked our way along the Kibbie Creek Trail, and this is Kibbie Creek right here. This falls all the way down into Lake Eleanor to downstream from here. I think that's to the north. So anyway, it was a hike over here wasn't that bad. It was only a mile and a half from our trail junction back there at the top of the trail that went down to Lake Eleanor. And it was 1.5 miles with about a 450-foot elevation gain. It was very, very modest. It was a little overgrown in spots. You can tell it hasn't been used very much. And boy, what a gorgeous view down here. That water's cool, and it's a nice cool. We were hot in the sun, and the breeze is cooling us off as it picks up moisture from the water here at Kibbie Creek. We're going to go around and explore the rest of the creek. It's gorgeous here. Great spot for lunch break. That's your jacuzzi right there in the little hole. I wonder how many years it took to carve. Well, as we're working our way down from Kibbie Creek back to our trail junction. The weather has decided to take a little more of a drastic turn. We can see really dark clouds coming in this direction. They're blowing crossways, so if we're lucky, they'll stay just on the other side of us. And if not, we have rain gear, but well, at least I do. But we have to go over some blowdowns, and thankfully, most of the trail from here on back to the junction is downhill. So just got to pick our way through the boulders here and the rocks. Make sure I don't get everybody lost. Like I said, this trail doesn't get a whole lot of use. Jerry saw a second striped racer down by the creek. I missed the last two now. So I got to keep my eyes open. That's why I'm up front. This is a scenic little spot right here. Well, this is our view as we're working our way back down to the trail junction. View of Lake Eleanor from above. Coming back from Kibbie Creek. Now we're working our way back to the trail junction as the dark clouds are moving in.
Love you, man.
Here's the outflow from the dam. You can see it's flowing pretty good. Well, that's looking over toward, from the dam. This is looking across Cherry Lake over toward Hetch Hetchy. It's off that direction. You can see the storm clouds working their way in. I wonder what the trail's like to Rancheria Falls today. Well, everybody's starting to scramble a little bit because there was that chance of rain today, and now it's starting to hail a little bit. So it looks like right now it's stopped. So I've got my chuck box locked down, and I've got my food stuff with a lid on it now. Thank God we got the fire going when we did. And I'll get some water heated up here for in case somebody wants hot water for a mountain house or something. I got a whole box of Mountain House over there, and I just can't do it. And so I was looking around in my chuck box, and I had a thing of tortillas, big thing of grated Mexican style cheese, and I also had some mango habanero beef jerky I'm going to chop up, I think, and I'm just going to make me a quesadilla. That actually sounds really good. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully that was it for our little hail. It just lasted literally less than a minute. And Jerry's got his satellite system hooked up for us so we can have full Wi-Fi internet. We can stream movies if we want. We can call home on Wi-Fi calling. We can do Google research. Earlier, Dave was online, and Dave was looking at different types of birds and snakes that we saw today, and Jerry was looking at the Doppler to see, because it's getting really dark. There's one little tiny patch of blue sky, and that's it. So we really don't want a bunch of rain coming down. I know my swag is waterproof, but I don't want to get the exterior wet, so I do have a waterproof nylon tarp that if it does start to rain or hail hard enough, I'll put that over the top of it just as a backup. But in the meantime, we gotta get our fire going, because we don't want the hail and the rain to put it out. And we've got some big chunks here that, the big stuff just hasn't been burning, so hopefully we can get it to go. Anyway, we're pretty much through hiking for this trip. We did Opama and Rancheria Falls yesterday, and today we hiked down to Eleanor Lake, and we came back up and took a side trail over to what was it, in Kibbie Creek, and it was actually kind of nice. So anyway, we came back up, and we just kind of been hanging out in camp. So we're going to try to tidy up a little bit in case the rain cuts loose. And it's after 5, so we'll start dinner here in a couple minutes probably. And campground's pretty full. It's Saturday night, and quite a few extra campers came in over the last 24 hours. So the campground that I thought nobody was going to be at, I guess more people know about this than I originally thought, you know. So anyway, I'm going to continue putting stuff away in the Jeep and start making my quesadilla, I guess. Well, I decided to instead of doing the mountain house, I think I'm just gonna, I got some of this habanero mango jerky. I don't know where I got it, Costco, I think. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop it up and make a quesadilla. I've got cheese, got tortillas, I've got a little bit of this mango habanero. I'm gonna have to cut it up pretty small because it's, you know, it's beef jerky. It's gonna be tough when it's in my quesadilla, but it'll still be tasty. And I've got the fire behind me going. And hopefully the hail will hold off and the rain will hold off till at least after dinner. That would be good enough, I think. Get me a big quesadilla. I'll put some the mango habanero meat on there. Got that. Some cheese on there. We got more people coming in. I'm going to do it over the open fire on my my Billy Bob stove. The Billy Bob campfire over there. It looks like it's pretty hot right now, and now it's starting to rain again. So let's see if I can get this over there and on the fire without it falling off, huh? I bet this grill is nice and hot. Let's see if I can get this in there without all the stuff falling off of it. I bet it's not going to take long. Melt that cheese. Alright, well there's my cheese quesadilla. Cheese isn't quite melted yet. I got to make sure it doesn't get too hot. It's going to burn my tortilla. So see what this looks like. Nice and crunchy, nice crunchy, warm, toasted tortilla with mango, habanero, beef jerky, and cheese. It totally hits the spot. Well, we gotta get our Easy Up set up now because it's starting to rain. Okay, Jerry was smart. He brought his Easy Up, and it's starting to hail again. It's actually coming down pretty good. We ended up with our quesadillas going pretty good. Hopefully it won't put our fire out. We'll see. But I had to cover my swag. It's waterproof, but I thought this would help. And here comes the rain. You can see it bouncing off the top of the Easy Up. The hail. Well, the fire's hanging in there. It's trying, but it's coming down good now. So we had to move everything indoors. Thank God you had the Easy Up, Jerry.
Yeah.
51.
51 degrees?
Only 45% humidity.
Yeah. The rain stopped and the hail stopped, but it's still dripping from the trees. Dave's gonna make another quesadilla, habanero jerky, mango jerky. Well, the rain stopped and now it's back. So, oh yeah, now we're getting more hail. I just put more wood on the fire. Hopefully we can keep this going until this system passes. Of course, my chair's getting all wet. Let me go get that out of the rain. What are you doing, Jerry?
I'm gonna watch this. This is gonna be piling up, and when you stand here to swack it, you get soaked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's coming down pretty good now. Come on, fire, stay lit. Well, now that the fire kind of died down a little bit, we added some more wood, and the rain and hail had stopped. So I've got my billy pot over there full of water. We'll heat up some water. Maybe we'll have some apple cider or maybe a hot chocolate. But in the meantime, we're cooking up one more quesadilla, and I have a berry pie and a cream pie, like a Hostess cream pie. They're actually from Walmart. They're not from Hostess, but I've never had one toasted over the open fire. They got to be pretty good. All right, looks like it's going to be it. Hold one up. That's right, that's not yours. That's Jerry's.
Well, I think we're all split.
No, we're split.
Oh, you are?
Everybody, grab a piece. Get in there, Jerry. And Anthony.
Oh, I'm good. That's perfect, huh?
Oh, good stuff.
So our fire is hanging in there. We don't know for how long. It's raining, started to hail for a second, went back to rain. Hopefully we won't get too soaked. Well, we're hanging out here under the Easy Up, but we do have to be careful because it does pool up in spots, and when you flick the top of the Easy Up, you get drenched on the other side. So I had to move my camera gear under the Easy Up. My swag should be pretty good. It's waterproof to begin with, but on top of it, I've got a kind of a cheap camouflage waterproof tarp, so that should help. And I'm more worried about keeping the fire going. We do have firewood under the table. We moved it when it first started. We moved all of the wood and put it under the picnic table, which is under the Easy Up, so we should be good. I'm just hoping that the fire doesn't go out. So yeah, it would be kind of cool to get some snow. I don't think it's cold enough. It's what, 50? You said 49? 49 degrees right now. So we'll see. Hopefully this one. Oh, you can see the road over there steaming. And I wonder how many people are unprepared for rain when they camp. There's quite a few people on motorcycle camping, but the guys over there that have been there the whole time we've been here, they're under a tarp, so they're pretty good. And they have tents. The rain flag is really tiny on them, so we'll see if that's going to hold or not. But I think we're good because Jerry's in his Tahoe and Dave's been sleeping in the Jeep, so that's waterproof. Uh-oh. Mosquitoes are coming. Hopefully the rain will keep them at bay too. That's what you call a campfire.
It's lashing out. Man.
Yeah, that'll dry out our clothes real quick. So we're just hanging out. The rain looks like it's finally come to a stop. It's mostly clear blue sky above us now. I think we're done with the rain and the hail for now. We've got some wood left to get us through tonight. We've been using these sugar pine cones. you know, there's tons of regular pine cones, pinyon pines all around us, and they burn really fast. They almost like explode when they hit the fire. These burn a lot longer. I'll throw one in here so you can see this. It doesn't take too long to get it to ignite. Maybe the sugar content or the sap content, I'm not sure, that's in it really makes a big difference. But check this out. Uh-oh. Pretty impressive, huh? Now you know why there's forest fires. I'm gonna have to take my kettle off the fire again. It's gonna be too hot. All right, well, we're in camp at Cherry Lake, campsite number 9. We had quite the experience today. We got back from our hike out to Lake Eleanor and Kibbie Creek. And we made it back here. We had time to relax and camp, and then the storm came, and it rained pretty good. We got a little bit of hail, enough to get things wet, but luckily Jerry had to easy up and got it out just in the nick of time to get all of our stuff covered before it really hit. And I had a tarp, so I put it over my swag, so that's bone dry. And yeah, now there's not a cloud in the sky. You know, we checked the Doppler, and we could see it coming in, and it lasted, what, about an hour and a half or so, roughly?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, everybody was diving for cover. You know, there were other campers around. They were in their car or in their tent. And anyway, so we're done hiking for this adventure. Got a long drive home tomorrow. But we had a good time. Dave, what was your favorite part of our adventure?
Well, of course, hedge hedging. Well, yeah, hedge hedging. I've been meaning to do that again for like 15 years. And while I dislike the reason it was built, it really is a phenomenal place. So, yeah, that was obviously the waterfalls and all that are unbelievable. So, yeah, that would be obviously the best part.
What are you, Jerry?
I think Watama Falls is pretty awesome. That was the first spot we got to, and
Yeah, that was
we
pretty
got-
cool.
we
It's
got pretty
pumping
wet there.
good. Yeah.
even with the not as bad as the mist trail a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When everything was
Yeah.
on fire. I mean, not on fire, but the waterfalls were on steroids back then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
that
with
was a good
ponchos,
rain year.
we
Yeah,
got
it was
soaked.
pumping.
But it was good to see Wapama Falls and the new bridge. I guess I don't know how old it is. It's there.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a new one. I thought it was just the one. And then the older guy said, "Oh yeah, I haven't been on the new bridge. It's the first time."
Yeah, you could see the spots where the old one was, but it was a lot closer to the falls too. So I assume that somewhere in the last couple of years, with all these big rains and releases, it probably just
Can you imagine if you were closer?
destroyed it. I know.
I mean, we got wet enough, and it was like 20 feet back from the other
Yeah.
one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we went 13 miles yesterday and another 5 today. So legs are aware of it.
Yeah, I was dying coming back. I was complaining the whole way. It was uphill all the way back. That's what I kept saying. My right hamstring was cramping up, so I had to go up the big steps with my left leg and do little baby steps with my right leg. And I just feel like an idiot because I had all this. I had a whole bunch of stuff that I had brought for the hike. I had all kinds of electrolytes. I had 2 different kinds of electrolytes. I had beef jerky. I had a whole bunch of stuff that I could use to offset, all the carb burning I was going to do, and I didn't bring any of it. I don't know what I was thinking. So I had a couple of things that I brought, and it helped a little bit. And then Jerry, that's probably the thing that helped me the most, was Jerry gave me half his sandwich, his pastrami sandwich. And I think the carbs and the protein was probably at the right time, because it really made a big difference coming back. But another adventure in the books. I've been to this part of Yosemite for the first time, and we probably won't go back.
Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. That campsite down by Lake Eleanor was really, really nice, and even Kibbie Creek was really nice. So who knows? Yeah,
I
maybe
didn't
we
really
will.
know that we would go back into Yosemite just walking over there today. Just going over that hump from the car a quarter mile, and all of a sudden we're back in Yosemite National Park.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd even be in Yosemite. I thought we would have had to driven 30 miles to get there. It was.
I never in my life thought I'd get that far into the north part of Yosemite, let alone cross a northern border. That's always been a mysterious part of the park that I've never really seen. When we got to Tuolumne River, which is in the north part of the park, but there's a long way to go to get to the northern boundary, and here we are sitting near it right now today.
So we're going to enjoy the last couple of hours beside the campfire, and we'll probably hit the hay a little early, I imagine. Tonight, get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow we'll have one more breakfast and a cup of coffee, and then we'll start packing up and we'll start heading home. So. Well, good morning. This is our last morning out here at the Cherry Lake campground just outside Yosemite, and so we got to pack up this morning after breakfast and head on out. It's gonna be a long day today. Besides packing up, which is going to be quite the chore, we also have to make that 8-hour drive home. But had kind of an interesting night last night after the fire died out and the rain and the hail stopped. Everything's a little moist and wet. And anyway, we went to bed, and I was sleeping pretty good. And about 3 in the morning, I think it was 3 in the morning, I heard a horn honk. And then I heard another horn honk from a different vehicle. And then I heard the same horn honked again. And I thought, oh, that's kind of weird, I know this is a bare area, and sometimes people make the mistake, they leave stuff out. So I kind of poked my head out from under my swag, and I looked over, and I could see the light on inside the Jeep. And because Dave was sleeping in the Jeep, and I also saw Jerry outside of his Tahoe, and his light was on. Okay, what's going on? So I watched him for a couple of minutes, and I saw Jerry walking around the Jeep with his flashlight. Okay, well, something's going on. So I got on my boots, and I went over there to see what was up. And Dave was still asleep in the back of the Jeep, and he was saying he woke up by the sound of chewing. He could hear crunch, 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 crunch. It sounded like something was inside the engine compartment of the Jeep chewing. He said it would chew, and then it would stop. Do a couple chews, and then stop. So Dave thought it was like a rodent inside my engine compartment eating up my hosing that goes to my engine or something, a radiator hose, or who knows, a wiring. So Dave decided to just honk the horn. And so he honked the horn to try to scare it away, and he said that it kind of stopped. But anyway, so while me and Jerry were talking to him, we thought, oh, Dave was just dreaming. He's like having a weird dream. And, there's no problems with the rodents up here. There's nothing like that here. There's no signs saying anything. I know in Kings Canyon, a lot of times they'll wrap their car up completely at the trailhead because of the Mormons. They'll come in and they'll eat all the rubber parts under your car. And so we thought, okay, well, Dave's he's retarded. He's dreaming, and that's it. And then we saw a mouse run right by my feet. And it was a tiny little mouse with a big back end on him. And he ran right by my boots and ran behind this log. So anyway, me and Jerry chased this sucker for 40 minutes, it seemed like. We were going around and around and around. And I opened the engine compartment, and I looked inside with my flashlight and my headlamp, and didn't see anything. Didn't see any damage. Looked underneath the Jeep. Didn't see any bits of rubber or anything underneath the Jeep. But anyway, this little mouse kept us busy for about 30 minutes at least, probably. And so finally, the mouse, we scared him, and he finally went up into this hole in this log. It was about 10, 15 feet away from the Jeep. So we took some pine cones and stuffed it in the hole really good, and then we went back to bed. So I don't know, we'll see. The only thing that makes me a little worried is, we got to drive down that windy mountain road, no guardrails, and if he was eating my brake lines, I don't know. This might be my last recording. I hope not. But anyway, so it's cold this morning. It's 32, so it's right at the freezing level, and you can feel it. It's cold. So anyway, I got to go in and get the coffee going, and then I got to start wrapping up, and then we'll be heading out. The Cherry Valley Campground in the Stanislaus National Forest. Never been there, so I guess I can check that off my bucket list. Alrighty, I'll check back in a few with you. Alrighty. Well, I've got my new camping stove going. It's rolling pretty good. It's pretty close to a boil right now. It's very hot enough for coffee right now. I'm going to have more of the tropical coffee. I got it poured in this cup. And I'm going to have some Mountain House biscuits and gravy this morning. But I had to hook it up to my little 1-gallon tank because the little propane bottle here was frozen. And it went, and that was it. So it wasn't enough juice. But this one is over half full, and it was in the Jeep, so it was a lot warmer. So I think my coffee should be in here. It's not boiling, but it's starting to bubble. So I want to go ahead and pull it off and at least pour my coffee. Let's do that real quick. Put that back on there for my Mountain House. Well, what'd you think about that episode, our adventure out to see Lake Eleanor and Kibbie Creek? Pretty cool, huh? Sometimes it's fun to run into something that you didn't expect. You know, we weren't really sure what to expect if we even got a view of Lake Eleanor. We really couldn't tell. The view was phenomenal. The weather was perfect. And then the side trail to Kibbie Creek, that was a stunner as well. Especially seeing that skink that was under the log there. That was actually called a Gilbert skink. I found that out later. It's actually fairly rare in Yosemite. Most people don't get a good look at those. And even though our look was a fleeting glimpse as it sprinted out, I was able to take a still off the video. It's a little blurry, but you can kind of still tell what it is. And of course, you know, the thundershower we got, that was pretty fun too. You know, luckily Jerry had brought his Easy up and we were able to duck out of the rain because nobody else in the campsite had something like that, and everybody was ducking for cover, and basically everybody bolted up their shop and they went into their tents or they slept in their car, took a nap, I guess, while the thunderstorm hit us. But we were able to maintain the fire, we were able to cook dinner, and then had a nice peaceful evening by the campfire before we drove home. So overall, it was a really good adventure out in Yosemite, and we look forward to doing it again. I don't know if we'll go back to Hetch Hetchy because that drive was just a killer, but maybe next year we'll figure out something that's equally as exciting and interesting as this one was. Well, anyway, don't forget to hit that click and subscribe button, and if you have any comments, obviously, you know, post a link down below. Leave a comment and let us know how you felt about this adventure. The fire towers, the fire lookouts in San Bernardino, Taquitos, and Black Mountain are still currently closed. Hopefully not for the whole season. They've had some troubles with some of the facilities, and until they get repairs made, they're not going to open them. So, but in the meantime, I am working High Point Lookout, and I have worked a couple of shifts up there as well. In fact, I've got quite a few more scheduled over the summer months. And while it's, to me, not as exciting as Taquitos and Black Mountain, it does fill the bill, and I get to provide some additional eyes on the forest, as they say. And I'm also doing some training to become a backcountry wilderness ranger out in San Bernardino. So that'll be going on regardless of whether the fire lookouts are open or not. So that'll be coming up probably in another week. I'll start training up there. So anyway, I hope you have a good summer. Don't forget to get out there and do some hikes, stay hydrated, wear sunscreen, and I'll see you on the trail. All right, bye-bye.